that it became policy, policy follows business. So that's what we've been doing over the way.
Let me ask you about specific cases that you made this year. First, GE, you handed a proposal about net zero achievement disclosure, and you got a 92% of the approval rate. And also against DuPont, you got a 81 approval rate on your ask to disclose on the plastic pollution, in spite of their bold opposition. Could you tell me the stories of the stories behind the scene?
We don't work to get a vote. Getting a majority vote, we think, is a good thing as part of a path. We're on a path to getting the company to change. Even when the company changes, we don't declare victory until it really is part of the company's DNA. So the 98% vote led to a conversation with the company in which they committed to disclose the emissions from their jet engines, the emissions from their turbines, scope 3 emissions, so emissions from their products. That is a really precedent setter because no company discloses that. They all say they do, and there's estimates. CDP doesn't have a single good piece of data on scope 3. So getting GE to actually give us real scope 3, and then also to commit to reduce emissions 5% a year for the next 10 years, so net 50 by 2030, we think that's a significant change. And that's something that other companies will start to emulate. So we think that's significant. DuPont, we had an 81% vote. Now that's the highest vote ever on an environmental resolution where the company opposed it. GE, the company management, said, we agree. Like they saw they were going to lose, and so they caved at the end. But DuPont said, vote against this. 81% of DuPont voters. And what it was about is spills of these plastic pellets that they use as a feedstock for plastic bottles. And they spill billions a year. Now, what happened with this, we met with the company. They were still, well, maybe we'll disclose it this way or that. But then the US Congress picked it up and made it as part of the Break Free from Plastics Act. And now at least the House has passed legislation that says that companies, first of all, must disclose when they have a spill, and then they got to clean it up. So this could become policy that's going to change not only DuPont, but every plastic producer. So we had already gotten a majority with Chevron and with Exxon, with all the other plastic producers over the last few years. So the fact that it became policy, policy follows business. So that's what we've been doing over the last, it's really been a 5-year campaign to get every plastic producer to agree to disclose their spills. I mean, it's kind of like the Exxon Valdez. Imagine if they didn't have to tell anyone they had a spill. It's like the equivalent amount of toxins in our flowing downstream into our ocean. So, these things, again, they take time. They take organizing shareholders to say this is important, that this is something that's going to harm the company and harm the natural world. So it's going to have a significant impact on the financials of the company. So that's the case we have to make. That is our job. So we've been talking to them about GMOs for years and years before we then shifted over into, and then also executive compensation. So in 2018, so you can see, and then plastic pellet pollution, and now it's you can see how it evolved. So it's a long relationship with a company.
And my question would be like, what's the secret behind this?
No. There's no secrets. It's all completely out. It's all completely transparent. What I believe it is, this year saw a shift. A couple things. One, BlackRock. The year before, they voted 17% against management. This year, they voted 34% against management. So you got a big block of shares there. Vanguard always votes for management. So Vanguard's always got, is always backing management. Let's just put it that way. But you're starting to see the shareholders are coming together. The CA 100 plus is 52 trillion of assets. That's voting sort of in a block on climate change. It takes a while to get credibility